Alright, this video is going to go through some different types of word problems with equations. Now, some of the problems, all you have to do is write the equation that matches. Other ones you're going to have to solve, and some will be easier than others. So let's go through this. Number 1 says, Erica went shopping for new clothes for school. She bought a pair of jeans for $36.32 and several shirts for $11.04 each. It says, let X represent the number of shirts she bought. Write an equation to find Y, the total cost of her trip. So we're going to write an equation that says Y equals, because the cost equals. Now, what does the cost equal? Well, she definitely bought a pair of jeans for $36.32. So it definitely cost $36.32. But she also bought shirts. So we're going to add to that. She bought X shirts at $11.04 each. So it's $11.04 per shirt. We're going to write plus $11.04 X. $11.04 times the number of shirts she bought, added to the price of the jeans. And there's our equation. That's it. Number 2. Leanne leaves town traveling at an average speed of 50 miles an hour. After 3 hours, Bart leaves town traveling in the same direction at an average speed of 67 miles per hour. Write an equation that could be used to represent the distance between Leanne and Bart after X hours. Let X represent the time in hours that Bart has been traveling, and Y represent the distance. So we're going to write Y equals, because the distance equals. Well, if Leanne was traveling 50 miles an hour for 3 hours, how far did she get? 50 miles each hour for 3 hours, she got 150 miles away. So when Bart starts his trip, Leanne is already 150 miles away. But Bart is traveling faster than Leanne. He's traveling 67 miles an hour. So he's going to catch up, and the distance is going to go down. So 150 miles is the biggest their distance is, but that's going to go down because Bart's catching up. The difference in their speed, 50 miles and 67 miles, is 17 miles per hour. That's how quickly Bart is going to catch up, because he's traveling that much faster than Leanne. And there's your answer. Number 3. The senior class officers have figured out that the prom is going to cost $3,000 for location rentals and decorations, and $59 per person for food. Write an equation to express the cost Y in dollars in terms of the people. So we're going to write Y equals, or the cost equals. Well, we definitely have to pay $3,000. Regardless of who goes, you still have to pay for the location and the decorations. So that's definitely part of the cost. But then we have to add another $59 per person for food. So we're going to add 59 per person, or 59x. $59 times X number of people added to the $3,000 that we already have to pay. All right, number 4. Cassidy is going to the county fair with her friends, but can only stay at the fair for 5 hours. The fair offers 2 different pricing structures. Cassidy can purchase an all-day pass with unlimited rides for $30. Or she can pay the admission fee of $6 and pay $3 per ride. If she rides 13 rides, how much does she save by buying the all-day pass? Well, we have to figure out how much the other option costs her. For $3 a ride for 13 rides, what will we do with those two numbers to find out how much she paid? Right, we're going to multiply them. 13 rides times $3 each is $39 for rides. But she also had to pay the admission fee of $6. So we need to add 39 plus 6. We get a total of $45 for that option, whereas the other option was only $30. So how much cheaper is the all-day pass, the $30, than the $45? Well, she's saving a total of $15. And we didn't actually even have to write an equation for that one. All right, 5. A company has fixed operating costs of $2,298 per month. So that's how much it costs for them to pay their employees and rent the building and pay for heat and buy materials and that kind of thing. Then there's a production cost of $12.89 per unit. Maybe they're making televisions, and it costs the company $12.89 to make every TV. Then they sell the TVs for $32.15. We want to know how much profit they're making. Well, to figure out profit, we have to figure out how much they're actually getting to keep. So if they sell the TVs for $32.57, we have $32.57. That's how much they're being paid for their TVs. But from that amount, you have to take away the $12.89 that they have to spend to make the TVs in the first place. They need to spend that money before they consider making any money. So we have $32.57, and we're going to take away $12.89. That leaves us with $19.68. That's how much the company is making on every TV, the $19.68. So now we want to write their profit. Well, their profit is the $19.68 they're making per TV, or X, $19.68 per TV. But then from that amount, you have to take away their bills, the $2,298 that they have to pay in bills, because they don't get to keep that money. Whatever's left over after they pay those bills is their profit. All right, number 6. The Bridgeport Water Department has a monthly service charge of $14.90 and a volume charge of $1.19 for every 100 cubic feet of water. Write an equation to determine the total family water bill for 100 cubic feet of water, or for every 100 cubic feet of water. So the cost is, regardless of how much water they use, they have to pay $14.90 a month. So we're going to start with that. But then you're going to add to that $1.19 per X, per every 100 cubic feet. Plugging in a certain number of 100 cubic feet for X would give you the total bill on every TV. Continuing on the next page, almost done, and we're going to move on to a different kind of problem then. Sheila's job has a base monthly salary of $1,300. But for every sale she makes, she earns $40. Think of a job that works on commission. If Sheila's goal is to earn $3,860, how many sales does she need to make? Well, we know that Sheila's going to make, for sure, $1,300. And she adds to that $40 per sale, or 40X. And she wants that total to equal 3,860. So if we solve this equation for x, we'll know how many sales she needs to make to meet her goal. To get the x by itself, we are going to subtract 1,300 from both sides. We get 40x equals 2,560. Then just divide by 40 on both sides to get our final answer. X equals 2,560 divided by 40, 64. So she needs to make 64 sales this month in order to meet her goal. Last but not least in this section, Mike discovered that the pool in his backyard is leaking. The pool holds a total of 18,745 gallons, and it's leaking at 5 gallons per day. He's not filling up any water while it's leaking, so how much water will still be in the pool after 25 days? So the water left equals, well, the pool started with 18,745. And it's leaking, so the amount is going down by 5 gallons per day, or 5x. There's our equation. To find out how much is left after 25 days, we're just going to plug 25 in for x. The water will equal 18,745 minus 5 times 25, which is 18,745 minus 125, which is 18,620 gallons remaining after 25 days. All right, the next kind of problem is called a consecutive integer problem. We're just finding certain numbers that add up to usually a certain number. So we want 3 consecutive numbers. Consecutive means numbers in a row that add up, whose sum is 171. When we don't know numbers in math, we use x to represent it. So our first number is x. Well, the next number that comes after x is just x plus 1. One more than the number before it. The next number after that would be x plus 2. 2 numbers after the starting number. Now we have our 3 numbers, and we want to find the sum. So we're going to add them up. X plus 1 plus x plus 2. And this sum is 171. Combine like terms, x, and x, we get 3x plus 1 plus 2 is 3, and that equals 171. Then we just go through and solve this problem for x. Subtract 3 on both sides. We get 3x equals 168. Divide by 3 on both sides. Divide by 3. X equals 56. So that means our starting number was 56. Our next number is 57. And our last number is 58. And if you were to add those 3 numbers up, you'd get to 171. Number 10, we want 3 consecutive odd numbers who add up to 105. Again, our first number is going to be x, but we want the next odd number. So if, for example, our number was 3, the next odd number is 5. That's 2 more than 3. So our next number is going to be x plus 2, We need to go up to the next odd one. And the last odd one would be x plus 4, every other number. Now we want to add these up, x plus 2 plus x plus 4. That's going to equal 105. Again, combine like terms. X, and x is 3x. Plus 2 plus 4 is 6, gets us 105. Then solve for x. Subtract 6 on both sides. 3x equals 99, so x equals 33. That means our first odd number was 33, our next one would be 35, and our last one is 37. If you add up those three odd numbers, you get to 105. Similar thing in number 11, but we want 4 numbers. Our first number is x. We want them to be even, so just like the odd problems, it's every other. If our first number is x, we want x plus 2, x plus 4, and x plus 6. Every other number will be even. Add them all up. X plus 2 plus x plus 4 plus x plus 6 is going to be 244. Combine like terms. X, and x is 4x plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 is 12. And that equals 244. And then solve for x. Minus 12 on both sides. 4x equals 232. Divide by 4 on both sides. You get x equals 58. Which means your first even number was 58. Then 60, then 62, and then 64. And if you add up all 4 of those even numbers, you're going to get 244. All right. Last section of problems are perimeter problems. Number 12 says the perimeter of a rectangle. So let's draw a rectangle. Says the perimeter is 332, the width is 76. So we have 76 here and 76 here. We don't know the length, so both of those other sides are x. Perimeter we find by adding them all up. So we can write that 76 plus 76 plus x gets us our 332. Combine like terms. Put your x's together, put your numbers together. 76 plus 76 is 152 plus 2x equals 332. Subtract 152 from both sides to get the x's by itself. 332 minus 152 is 180. So we get 2x equals 180. So x is 90. X was the length of the rectangle, so the length is 90 centimeters. All right, in number 13, we're going to draw another rectangle. It says the width is 15 centimeters less than the length. It doesn't tell us anything about the length, so we're going to call the length x. Then the width, the other sides, is 15 centimeters less than that, or x minus 15. Now we know the perimeter is 98. So we can add up all of those sides. X plus x plus x minus 15 plus x minus 15. And together we should get the perimeter of 98. Put your terms together. You get 4x minus 30 equals 98. And then solve for x. Add 30 to both sides. You get 4x equals 128. Divide by 4 on both sides, you get x is 32. Plugging that back in to our picture, that means that the length is 32, but the width is 32 minus 15, which is 17. So the question's asking for the dimensions. The dimensions are 32 by 17. The length and the width. All right, last but not least, one more rectangle. It says the length is 7 more than the width. We don't know the width, so we're going to label the width this time as being x. The length is 7 more than that, so x plus 7 on top and bottom. Add them all up to find perimeter. X plus 7 plus x plus 7 plus x plus x equals the perimeter they give you in the problem of 78. Combine like terms. You get 4x plus 14 equals 78. And then just solve for x. 78 minus 14 is 64. So 4x equals 64. Divide by 4, you get x equals 16. Bringing that answer back over to our picture, the width is 16, but the length is 16 plus 7, or 23. So again, the dimensions would be 16 by 23, and that's what the question is asking for. I know this video was a lot. There's a lot of different word problems to go through, but you'll have practice the next couple of days with doing these kinds of problems. Call me over to talk about some of these with you, to come up with some more examples for you, and really to understand this if you're having trouble. Then go ahead and work on the practice worksheets.